Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. It's almost springtime here in Alberta, even though it's February. It gets cold for a couple of days and then it's warm again. So it's a kind of a rock and roll season of winter where you don't know what to expect. So this is going to be a kind of rock and roll class because I don't know what to expect. I'm just going to sit here for a moment with you. I've stretched my legs out and my heels out just to give my sense of grounding here. And we're just grounding our tailbones and grounding our feet. If you like, you could have a strap. We'll be using a strap in a little bit. And you might want to sit up on something if you feel you need a little bit of added height. And you may need a block or two through the course of the class. So you can find those. Okay, so we're just sitting here. I'm just going to open a page and read something. I'm going to read Goethe. This is Atta, Readiness and Commitment. And that's one of the things that I love about meeting online is that we're all ready and we're all committed. We're committed to being here for a passage of time. And we're ready to do what needs to be done in terms of our own body. We are the authors of our own novel here. We know what works and what doesn't. And we need to modify when required. So here's Goethe. Until one is committed, there is a hesitancy, the chance to draw back. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then Providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would otherwise never have occurred. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. I love that. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And certainly as someone who started teaching yoga at, in my 70s, I agree with that. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Okay, not that I'm a genius teacher, but it was a genius idea to become a yoga teacher. It's really nourishing me. All right, so we're stretching through our heels here. We're pulling our toe mounds back and our toes back. And I'm really feeling in my legs that if the more I push through my heels, the more I get some extension actually in my hamstrings and in my calves. And I'm just going to open my arms out with my palms down. I'm stretching my fingers out, and then I'm going to rotate my arms in my shoulders, and then I'm going to turn them back around, and I'm stretching my fingers out. So we have this is a kind of double movement. On the one hand, we are lubricating our shoulders, and on the other hand, we are really doing something good to our potentially arthritic hands and our feet. Okay, so let's point our toes and make a fist with our hands. Good. And now let's lift our toes up. My feet tend to cramp, so I have to get them all organized here. And we're going to do this thing with our hands again, just rotating them and really stretching our fingers out. And now we are still working with our legs. It doesn't look like much, but it feels like a really good stretch inside. Good. And we're rotating our shoulders. Good. Now we're just going to tap our shoulders here with our hands, and we're going to open our arms out, tap our shoulders, open them out, tap our head, open them out, shoulders, head, tap our shoulders. And now we can just drop our arms, rotate our shoulders up and around, up and around, up and around, and then back the other way. Good. Now we're going to just take our arms up. We're going to embrace ourselves and give us a little love. We can tap our shoulders and we can wake up our shoulders. We can massage them a bit if we want to. And we can massage our, whatever we can reach in our neck or our upper back. And then we're going to open our arms up and close with the other arm over top. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to feel that genius of new beginnings. It's a new month, February, and it's always a kind of challenging month in Canadian winters. And then we're going to open them up again. We're going to drop our arms. Good. Now, I'm just going to find my belt, which is in my magic place here. And I've got a blanket here, and I've got a couple of belts, of blocks rather, in case I need them. All right. So we're just going to take our legs. Oh, I think I forgot to push the, oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't forget to push it. Okay, so we're going to just take our legs out. I'm going to bring one leg in by my thigh, and I'm going to put a strap around the other foot. I'm going to put it just around the ball of the foot, actually. And I'm going to stretch it out on the floor. And I've got this leg here, and I'm just going to kind of draw myself down right beside my leg. And I'm going to bring my leg in, keep it hugged in. I'm not going to let it drop out. Keep it hugged in. So we're on a little bit of a twist here. And we're just going forward. I pretend I have a straight back. I'm working on my straight back. But this is quite a nice posture. And if you like, you can hold on to your toes. You can be up here. But the object here is just to fold forward. And we're just breathing here. And we are inhaling. And we're exhaling. We're inhaling. And we're exhaling. We're inhaling. And we're exhaling. Good. We're going to come up. And we can bring that foot in with the strap, and then we're going to stretch that other leg out. And once again, we can put that around your ball of your foot. So it kind of draws the upper part of your foot. It helps you to make the heel stretch out there. Good. And we're bringing this as far back as we can. And then we're just going to draw this leg in, and we're going to lean forward. Now, I suppose ideally we would have, our knee at our ear or something like that. But such is the life of the human body. It does what it can, and here we are. And we're just drawing forward with a straight back. And you can, if you feel like it, you can just drop your head if that feels comfortable. And you can round over your leg if you like. We're trying to keep this leg moving in towards your shoulder. And you can hold on to your toes, the outside of your feet, whatever is convenient. So this is a very good hamstring stretch. And you might want to, if your hamstrings are really problematic, you might want to roll them out with one of those foam rollers. I have one, and I find it really helpful. It just loosens up the muscles a little bit and allows the whole length of the hamstring to stretch, rather than just that lovely little tendon that that can get overstretched at the top of the hamstring. So I recommend a foam roller if you have one. Okay, now we're going to come up here, and we're just going to bring our legs in, put our feet together. Now, if you have problematic, if you have what I would say are, very ladylike legs, and they don't open up like this, then you can just take something. I've got some dishes here, and you can just stuff something underneath, just to give you some support. Otherwise, you can just go with the whatever with the open groin. And I am just kind of waddling. And this is kind of a lovely massage of your glutes, actually. And it's not a bad thing to do at the beginning of a class. And plus, it's kind of fun. And life has its horrors. So I say find fun where you can. Find joy as it flies, as the saying goes. All right. Now, got my feet together here, and I'm just going to, you can, in fact, if you like, you can put a strap around your feet, and you can use that to keep your feet together. And you can hold on to it, and that actually gives you a little tension, so that you can sit up straight if you like. You don't have to do that. You can also just hold on to your ankles or whatever part of the body is available to you. And the object here is to maintain a back that is in equilibrium, that is a kind of neutral spine. So how do we find a neutral spine? Let's slip back. Let's tilt our pelvis back, and then tilt our pelvis forward as far as we can, and then tilt our pelvis all the way back, and then tilt it all the way forward. And we'll go all the way back and then all the way forward. Now let's see if you can find something that's sort of in that in-between space. So your pelvis is over top of your sitting bones, of course, but you're not tilting your tailbone back, and you're not tilting it forward. So you're in a kind of neutral space. Now, your ribs should be falling down your torso. They shouldn't be jutting out, right? They should be falling down so that you have your ribs in. And your collarbone, you imagine that there's a lovely string from your collarbone to the upper corner of your ceiling, or some star that's gleaming. Venus is very bright these days. And you have your collarbone lifting up, and your chin, instead of jutting forward, you bring your chin in. So those are 4 points at which you can kind of establish a neutral spine. You can establish your tailbone in a kind of neutral position, your ribs moving down your torso rather than jutting out, your collarbone feeling as though it's lifting up. Of course, it doesn't really lift up, but you don't want to be slouching forward. And your chin, instead of jutting out the way mine often does, we're bringing it back. So that should be something like a neutral spine. And all the time we're sitting here, we're doing a nice kind of groin opening exercise. And of course, yoga is a series, asanas are a series of movements and exercises, poses, and we hold the pose. But one of the reasons we hold the pose is to develop a state of mind that is open to meditation. And what is meditation but a kind of concerted focus, an ability to focus, that is, an ability to feel our anxious thoughts or our difficult knowledge that we are processing, or our my flibberty-gibbet mind, and then to let those thoughts go. So the poses afford us an opportunity to focus. And here I'm just going to inhale for a bit, and I'm going to exhale with a longer exhalation. Now, the reason for that, one of my pranayama teachers tells me, is when you have a longer exhalation, the way your diaphragm moves in your body with your breathing, it affords you an opportunity to develop a deeper inhalation. So let's try that. We'll inhale for 4 and we'll exhale for 6. So we're inhaling, and then we're exhaling. And we're inhaling, and we're exhaling. Inhale, 4, exhale, 6. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And now you can just return to your regular breath. Good. Now you can bring your legs in. I'm just going to take my hands and bring my knees together. I'm going to dispose of my belt to the side. And I'm just going to slap my legs here awake and my toes. And I'm tapping them too with my little claw-like hands here. And I'm going to tap my chest and my cheeks and my ears, the back of my head, the top of my head, the side of my head. If I weren't wearing glasses, I would tap my eyelids gently, and down my neck, around my back, and down my hands. Good. And my lower back, and all the way down to my feet. Good. All right, I'm going to roll my shoulders a little. I'm just trying to become a jellyfish a little bit here. All right. Now, let's see if we can take another pose, which is called a deer pose. This might be difficult for some of you, so you'll need perhaps just to modify it and do part of it. So I am just bringing my one leg forward. I'm pretending this is your right leg, but it's actually my left leg. But so say bring your right leg forward, and then I'm going to bring my left leg back behind me, and both of my feet are like this. I'm going to move my camera back a little bit here. There. There we go. All right. So I've got my left leg forward, my right leg back, and I'm sitting up. Now, of course, my right side isn't really, it's kind of turned towards the front, right? So you're not exactly sitting hard on your right sitting bone at all. And we're just going to sit here, and I'm using my pretend right hand on the ground here to keep me upright, and this hand. So I'm just feeling this, my fingertips, I'm just feeling this lovely sense of being upright. And this is deer pose in Yin. And we can just sit here for a moment. And once again, feel that our ribs are drawing down. Our chin is drawing in a little bit. Collarbone is lifted up. And our tailbone, it's difficult to see what our tailbone's doing because it's in an odd place here, but we're sitting in a way that we feel that we are in the center of our supporting body. And I like this posture because you can really feel an opening in your chest. And we're going to do a couple of neck movements here. So I want you to just drop your ear to your shoulder and look up, both eyes looking up on the diagonal to the corner of your eyes. And then I want you to drop the other way and move your eyes over to the other side. So this is a drishti. This is a meditative practice, actually, is finding a focal point. So we're focusing on the upper corner of our eye. And then we're going to go back, focus on the upper corner of our eye. And then we're going to go the other way and back and forth. And then we're going to come back. We're going to drop our chin to our chest and look up with our eyes. So we're dropping our chin and we're looking up to what is called the third eye, or let's say right between our eyebrows. We're looking up towards that. And then we're going to lift our chin up And we're going to look down towards our nose, so our eyes are crossed here. And then we're going to look up, drop our chin and look up towards our third eye, our eyebrows. And then we're going to drop it down and look towards our nose. And we'll do that a few more times. Looking up, dropping down, looking down towards our nose and lifting up. Good. All right, and we're going to turn our head towards your left, and we're going to look towards the left. And then we're going to look towards the right. And then we're going to look towards the left, and then the right, and the left, and the right. And then we're going to turn our head the other way, and we're going to go back and forth again, looking towards the right, and then the left, and then the right, and then the left, and the right, and the left. Good. And now we're going to just drop our chin down, and we're going to roll gently our head around. Now this might be not very good for some people with neck problems, so don't do it if you have neck problems. All right? But I find doing these neck exercises, by the time I'm doing this part of it, and I'm very gentle, I don't have the same crunching in my neck as I did at the other time. Now, the advantage of doing that is that we forget about our legs, potentially. So let's just crawl forward. This is sort of the end of the deer pose. And we've been there for a few minutes, but we're trying to maintain our yin poses a little bit longer. So I'm just on my forearms here, over top of my leg. And if you like, you can come all the way down and put your head down. Or you could put your head on a block, if you like. Or you could put your head on 2 blocks, if you need it. So the object of this is just to kind of really sink into the pose. Now, anytime you like, you can come up, because we've been here for quite a while. So just come up whenever you like. And you can go into child's pose. You could lay down in Shavasana if you're tired. Or you can just come up and shake your legs out and go back into the pose. So you have many choices. It's your practice. And here we're trying to maintain that breath. And we have an opportunity to breathe into the back body here. So we can inhale into the back body, and then we can exhale. We inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And inhale 2, 3, 4, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to push our way up, and we'll just basically lean back and stretch our chest out here, because this is a lovely stretch with our arms straight behind us, and we're just opening our chest and feeling liberated from the deer pose. Good. And now we're just going to do a little twist here, and then we'll go on to the other side. So I'm lifting this leg up, the back leg up, lifting it around, and I'm just putting it outside. So this is my left leg. I'm putting it outside the right leg, and I'm drawing that foot in. So we're in a half Lord of the Fishes pose, or twist. And I'm just going to put my left hand back, palm flat, pushing into the ground so that my spine is up. And I'm turning from the waist. So I'm turning from the waist. I'm not just turning my head and my shoulders. I'm turning from the waist as much as I can. I'm using my hand here to give me some leverage. And then I'm putting my arm here. Now, you could use a strap here. You could hold on to your leg. You have many alternatives here. And we're just looking towards the back of the room. Now, once again, we could do some eye focusing exercises if we like. And we can look towards, we can really make our eyes move towards the left. And then we can look towards the right, the left, the right, the left, and now we can come around. And I'm just going to invite us to twist a little bit in the other direction. So I'm just, this is a modest twist in the other direction, but a lovely one. And then I'm coming back. Good. Now, let's just untangle our legs here and we'll shake them out a bit. Now, let's put our opposite leg in front in the deer pose and bring our other leg behind. No, that's the wrong way. Okay, so you have your left leg in front and your right leg behind. Now, we're all asymmetrical, and this is much harder for me, so I have to figure out how to do it so I can manage it better. And I find that I have a gimpy knee, so I have to be careful with that. So you have to modify it for your body. So here I need to really support myself and move my leg back with some care. All right, so I need to support myself here. And it does feel quite uncomfortable. So I may put a blanket underneath, in this case, it's your right hip, just to give it a little elevation so it's not so problematic. And then I'm going to move forward here. And I'm just going to brace myself with straight arms for a moment. And then I'm going to move forward onto my forearms. And we'll stay here for a few moments. So here we are, we're in deer pose. And there should be no pain. There may be a little discomfort, but no pain. If there's pain, then just come up. And you could just lengthen your back leg straight behind you. And that would be a good alternative if your knee is a problem. And I'm going to put my head down. Once again, you can put it on a block if you like. And I'm just going to feel the elongation in my spine and the opening in my back body so that I can inhale into my back body and then exhale. And I'm inhaling into my back body and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. And you continue at your own pace. We can imagine with our mind's eye that our back ribs are opening up like an accordion. So our breath is becoming deeper, wider, and extending out. And I'm just going to walk my hands back. And I'm going to put my block over to the side. I'm going to remove my blanket and I'm lifting my leg up gently and moving it towards the other side. And I'm scooting that leg back. So we have you have your right leg, right knee up and your left leg bent your foot near your buttock. Okay, so once again, we're going to lift our arm up. We're going to feel ourselves, let's lift both arms up and really feel ourselves moving up. We can wiggle our body as though we're heading towards the heavens. Here we go. Ooh, we can feel my hands are touching the stars, and there was a beautiful crescent moon last night. It's just tickling the bottom of the crescent moon. Good. Now we can lower our arms and move one hand around our leg or to the outside. And we're just going to move once again from our waist. We're starting the turn from our waist. Use the back hand to give you some torsion here. And move and look over your shoulder. And we'll do those shoulder exercises again. Or eye exercises again. So we're looking to the left, and we're looking to the right, left, right, left, right. And we can, in this posture, as we're sitting here, feel ourselves lengthening up and turning around with each breath. So we'll inhale, and then we'll exhale and feel ourselves turn a little further. Inhale, and then exhale. Feel ourselves turning a little further. Once again, no pain, just a sense of elongation of the spine and of rotation. Okay, now we're going to come back. And I'm just lifting my leg up, and I'm going like this because I just want to make sure my knee is okay. So if you have any knee problems, I like doing this because it doesn't require, you're holding onto the leg and you're just kind of lubricating the joint a bit. Good. All right. Now, I guess we should do something else. Let's move on to our we can just move on to our knees. Just come up into a cat and cow, and you can have a drink of something. Pressing into my hands, pressing into my knees, and I'm pressing into my toes here, just to give my toes a little bit of an exercise. We're going to do a bit of cat and cow. So lifting up into cat and really sucking your belly in, feeling your spine curve up. And once again, then we're going to do cow. Now, if you're doing chair yoga, you can do this in the chair very easily, just by sitting in the chair and arching your back in and out. So we're exhaling into cat, and we're inhaling in cow, and we're exhaling in cat, and inhaling in cow. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and in. Out and in. Good. Now we're going to lift our right, it would be your left arm, but going to lift your right arm, your left arm up, and we're going to thread the needle here under. And now we're going to lift the left arm up and then thread it underneath and stretch it as far as you can. And we're lifting up. And this time we're going to let your arm rest on the ground, on your shoulder on the ground, and your head. And I'm going to lift my other arm up, my right arm up, and I'm going to bring it around and put it on my sacrum with the palm up. And just feel what that feels like. Good. And we're just going to rest here for a moment.
And then put your hand down, lift your arm up, come up again, and put your hand down. Now this time we'll see if we can do this. We'll put our, let me see, this leg out. No, we'll put this leg. So we're going to come to, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to lift our arm up, put it down, and then one of my teachers yesterday did this tricky thing. And then you're going to lift, you're going to put your hand flat on the floor, lift your leg up, and extend it back somewhere. So it's a bit of a balancing exercise. It's not a bad exercise. So I'm using my hand as a tripod. Okay, so I'll do it the other side. Do it this way. So this is kind of just an experiment. Okay, so let's try the other side and we'll do it on the other side. So I'm lifting up my right arm and then I'm lowering it down through threading the needle and lifting up my right arm. And then I'm lowering it down, threading the needle, lifting up my right arm, threading the needle. And on this one, we're going to leave it down there. We'll try this fancy thing with the leg. I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it's this kind of ridiculous thing to do. Okay, so my left arm planted down, my right shoulder towards the ground or on the ground, and then I'm just going to point my right hand foot behind me. It's a bit of a balancing act here. It's kind of tricky, but it feels quite good. So you shouldn't feel any problem in your lower back because you're just extending your leg out. You're not really lifting it up too high. And I quite like this. So it's multi-purpose. You're working with your shoulder, you're developing a bit of balance. And now you can just bend your knee and put it back down on the ground. And bring that leg up and go back into cat and cow for a minute. So cat and cow, just to get ourselves with a little equilibrium. There we go. Good. Now let's go down onto our belly on the mat and just go into sphinx pose here. And we're just pressing into our forearms. So we're getting a lovely back bend here. And our pelvis is on the ground and our belly is on the ground. It's kind of, my belly is on the ground, but my thoracic spine is curving up, hopefully. So there's a nice arc there. And I'm just resting here. I can press into my hands and give myself a little more of a tension there. And I'm really enjoying this moment. Now, if you like, this is a more of a bit of a deeper pose. You can extend your arms out, your hands out onto the floor, and you can deepen your back bend. So this is called seal. So it gives you a little bit more, in yin, it gives you a little bit more of a extension in your back. And we're just inhaling and exhaling here. So as we do more yin yoga over the course of weeks, we can extend the length of time we're in poses. Now, there shouldn't be any tension in your lower back. If there is, I would suggest you go back down just to the sphinx because you don't want to hurt your lower back. And we're just going to walk our hands in, back into sphinx. And really feel that moving up. And then we're going to make a pillow with our hands and turn our cheek towards one side. So we're just going to come down here and rest for a moment. And you can lift your head up and you can put your other cheek down just to balance out your neck. Good. And now we're going to push back into child's pose. And if you need something, so you can go back and sit towards your heels, you may need something to sit on. You can put something between your legs if you like, a block or something if you want to. Or you could raise your arms up on a chair here if you find the chair pose hard, or on on something low, just to give you some support. I'm just stretching my arms out in front of me, and I'm really lifting my shoulders up to my ear. I'm giving myself a really good stretch here. And then I'm going to walk around to the left. And then I'm going to walk around to the right. And I'm just breathing into the ribs on the right side that are opened up. And I'm coming back to the center and the other way. And back to the center. And now I'm walking my hands up, and I'm going to sit on my heels. Now, here I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sit on my heels for a minute. We're going to work on our feet, our toes. So I'm pressing my toes into the ground, and I'm going to sit back onto my heels. Now, if this is excruciating, you can just go up and down like this and just rock back for a minute. So it shouldn't be excruciating, but it might be uncomfortable. It's quite uncomfortable for me, but I really need to work with my toes and my feet. So I'm prepared to put in the effort. So I'm just going to be here for a moment, maybe a moment. I have my handy dandy timer here. And once again, I'm feeling the opening in my chest. I can have my hand in a mudra if I want. I can put my thumb and forefinger together and just rest them on my thighs. And really feel a tremendous sense of ease in my body, even though my toes are not easeful in the least. But I'm just going to stay here until I can. So you come up if it really is disturbing you, because discomfort is okay. Pain is really not what we're after. And I've got the timer going, so we have 17 seconds left. It done. And we will come back. And now I'm moving forward onto my hands and knees, and I'm going to put my feet down just to stretch them out a bit. Then I'm going to come back, and I really find this difficult, but I'm going to put my feet flat on the ground, and I'm going to lean back and see if I can lift my legs up and give my feet a stretch here. And this is really uncomfortable. So I'm just going to do it for a minute, like not even a minute, like seconds. And then I'm going to come forward. And then I'm going to try that again. I'm going to move forward here, so I've got double mats here. And I'm going to stretch my feet back, flat on the ground. And I'm lifting my knees up, leaning back, putting my weight on my hands, and feeling that stretch in my feet, in the front of my feet. And I'm just going to stay here until I can't
stand it anymore, and then I'm going to come up. So you might be able to stay there longer, in which case you can do that on your own time. But I'm trying to work on extending my feet that way. So for anyone who has cranky arthritic feet, it's quite good to stretch them out in those strange ways. Okay, good. Now my feet are okay. So I'm going to make my way up now that I have my restored feet up to, I'm just going to dangle over my legs, and then I'm going to curl my way up to standing. So here we are, we're standing, and feeling that we are just in Tadasana. So we should feel a bit limber here, because we have done all of those postures on the floor. And we're just going to stand here for a moment, and then we're going to roll down, and we're going to dangle. This is the dangling pose, which is a version of an asana. So we're just rolling down, and then we're going to dangle here. And this should feel quite good. And you can bend your knees if you like. You don't have to keep your legs straight. And you can just dangle over your legs. Or you can walk you can bend one knee and then straighten it, bend the other knee and straighten it, or you can keep them both bent. So we're just dangling. We're just allowing our upper body to feel the liberation that comes when we're simply subject to gravity and nothing more here. And we're just holding here in a holding dangle pattern. I like to move around in these postures, so I'm just stretching one side out and then the other gently, just one arm gently out, and then the other. And we're moving around here. Now I'm just going to roll up. And once again, stand in Tadasana. Feel the sense of equilibrium when we find a neutral spine. Once again, we can tip our tailbone forward, tip it back, tip it forward, and then find a neutral space for it. And I'm going to feel my ribs, lower ribs descending, my collarbone lifting up, my chin coming back a little bit. And I imagine there's a magnanimous puppeteer pulling a string from the top of my head, the crown chakra, up to that shining Venus star. Good. Now we'll just bring our legs out to a wide stance, and we will turn one leg. In this case, I'm turning. You'll be turning your left leg to the short end of the mat here, and the right leg is coming in on the diagonal. We're just standing here. We're facing the long side of the mat, lifting the arms up, and we're just going to stretch out towards the front leg. And then we are going to drop that hand down to our shin and lift the other arm up in a triangle pose. And we're going to turn, we're going to imagine that both sides of our waist are elongated and that we are looking up with our eyes towards our upper hand. And we're breathing here. And now we're going to come up, and we're just going to bend our front knee into warrior two. I'm elongating my stance a little bit. And so we're going out, stretching out. And then we're going to drop down. We're going to stretch out, and we're going to drop our arm down onto our thigh And we're going to feel, I'm feeling my pelvis dipping down, and my back leg is very straight. I'm pressing my thigh back, pressing into the back edge of the foot, and drawing my arm over top to my ear. And I'm turning my chest up towards the ceiling. Now, this is tricky, but it's a lovely pose. So you really feel that beautiful diagonal between your outer edge of your back foot and your upper arm, you have the fingertips, and you're rotating your chest towards the ceiling. It's rather, and this leg, this knee should be pressing back, the front knee. All right, good. And now we're going to come up, and we're going to just slide our arm down there. We can straighten that leg and arc our arm forward over, and we're going to bend that knee down and extend over. All right, and we're going to come up. This time we're going to keep our leg bent, and we're just going to slide our arm down the back, arc our front arm forward over, and once again we're going to go back this way and curve our chest up. Good. Now we're going to come back and straighten that leg, and we'll go into triangle pose again, just briefly. See if that's made any difference. And look up. Come up. All the time we're breathing, we'll turn our feet in again, the back foot on the diagonal, the front foot facing the short end of the mat. And we'll do a triangle pose here. So I have to get my feet regulated a bit. There we are. So we're doing a triangle pose. I'm stretching out, 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 out. And I'm dropping down. We're imagining that both thighs are moving outward. So we're rotating out, pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. We can lift our toes up and really feel our arches. We should feel an extension in our waist on both sides. And we might find that we can go a little bit further down. Now, you can also use blocks here and put your hands on blocks, your lower hand. And we're just going to maintain ourselves here for a moment. Now we're going to tilt up again. We're going to bend the front knee. And we'll just rest here in Warrior Two for a moment. Once again, our thighs are moving out. The energy is we're moving down. We're grounding ourselves, pushing back on this thigh so that our back knee is straight. And our upper body should feel light. And we could lift both our arms up, and then we can lower them down. And we can lift both our arms up, and we can lower them down. Good. Now we're going to really stretch out over that front knee. Stretch out, 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 and then we're going to drop our lower arm to our thigh and raise that upper arm to our ear and look up to the hand. And feel that chest opening up here. So we can press into that lower leg and really feel ourselves rotating up, pressing into the back foot. Lift your toes up. It's a bit tricky here. And then we'll come up. We're going to just draw our hand down the back in this gentle warrior. And then we're going to come back into that very strong, powerful pose, extended side angle. And once again, we're going to drop our hand down, back into gentle warrior, and then extending that arm out into extended side angle. Good, and now we're going to just come up, straight leg, and we can slide down again into our last triangle pose. I'm very shaky here. And Then we're going to come up. Good. All right, I'm turning my legs in, and we're going to do some forward bends at the hip with our feet extended out. So we're bending at the hip here, and we can just drop our hands down. You can put them onto blocks if you like, if that is more comfortable, so that you are supported here. Or if you can put your hands on the ground, and you can extend them on the back of the hip, so you can see me. So I'm extending my arms out in front, and then I'm walking them out towards the right with a straight back, and then I'm walking out towards the left. Right. And you can, if you like, walk back and hold on to your ankle. Use your elbows to extend out. If this is too much, you just remain on your blocks. And we're going to come back, hold on to the other ankle, extend our arms out, and then come back and bring our hands inside, underneath our torso, and on the same line as our feet. Now here, you could use a block or two. This is actually the beginning of a tripod headstand. So if you bring your hands back, fingers facing forward, and you can let your head drop onto a block, or onto 2 blocks, or 1 block, or onto the floor. This is a very nice pose, actually, if you can manage it. And you can put it on the floor, your head on the floor, if you can manage. And this is where the tripod headstand, you just basically lift your legs up, and they go up, and you find yourself in a headstand. I used to be able to do this, but I can no longer. So I just imagine my head, my feet high above my head. All right. And we're pressing into our feet, pressing into our thighs, opening up the backs of our knees, and really feeling this lovely stretch in our hamstring. Okay, now we're going to come up, and I'm just got my hands under here. I'm wiggling my feet in until I can comfortably put my hands on my hips, and then I am lifting with a straight back all the way up. Very good. Now I'm going to wiggle my feet in, and I'm rubbing my hands here. I'm going to take off my glasses for a moment and just rub my hands and put them towards my eyes. I'm feeling a lovely warmth on my eyes. And now I'm putting my palms together, and I'm pressing, lifting up, stretching out, and rotating my shoulders. And with that, I think I will call it a class. We've done some standing, some sitting, some twisting, some back bends, some forward bends, and we've worked our feet and our hands, our neck, shoulders. Let's have a little jiggle at the end of the class. Good. Now, for Shavasana, you can come down onto your back. If you like, you can sit cross-legged or in a comfortable position on a chair, or you can sit with your feet up the wall on your back. That's a lovely posture as well. So I'm just going to sit. I'm just going to come down and sit in a cross-legged position, but you are welcome to extend out onto your back. And I will just talk you through a final relaxation for a moment here. That was a rollicking end to the class. Those lovely standing postures are really invigorating. I feel I'm ready for the day. Okay. So when we're sitting here, I just want us to feel a sense of release, that we can release everything that has been contributing to sleepless nights and worries. So I want us to focus on all of those worries and those anxieties and imagine them inside a cardboard box, just a plain old cardboard box. And we're putting them all in that cardboard box. And now we're breathing into that cardboard box and we're exhaling. We're breathing into that cardboard box and we're exhaling. And as we inhale and exhale, that cardboard box magically dematerializes. We see it as a concrete box. And then as we breathe, we can envision it becoming an image that's less and less in focus. It's less and less distinct. And that simply, over the course of our breathing, it disappears. And we're left with a stillness, a sense of stillness. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. And a thought may arise. You can imagine it as a cloud in a beautiful blue sky. And you watch that thought, that cloud, as it passes by, and you let it go. We're inhaling and exhaling, and we're letting go. Inhaling and exhaling, and we're letting go. And all that we're feeling is the presence of us in this moment together. And we're imagining our bodies are trees in a forest. Our roots go deep, deep into the ground and out, out towards other trees. And extending beyond the roots are the filaments that connect us all through time and space. And those filaments allow us to breathe together, inhaling and exhaling. We are in communion, in community, alone together. And I'll leave you in silence for a few breaths. And a beautiful breeze is blowing through the room. A spring breeze. The fragrance is spring blossoms. And I can feel the breeze on my fingertips. I'm wiggling my fingers. I'm moving my hands, rotating my wrists. And I'm stretching my legs out. And I'm shaking my shoulders gently. And I feel the breeze blowing right through my body. I am the breeze. And I feel a sense of liberation, freedom, movement, and of thought. I invite you to return to the day, and I am grateful for you spending time with me. I really do love being able to share yoga and meditation, and the teacher in me salutes and honors the teacher in you. The student in me honors and salutes the student in you. A deep bow. And I dedicate the merit of this practice to all living beings. May this lessen your suffering.